Desi gang. Something a little bit different today. Of course, with the tragic news of Sidhu Moosewala's passing. I say passing is murder. Let's call it what it is. It's so tragic. It's incredibly unfortunate. You know, Sidhu was the same age as me. He was so young. He was so talented, and he had his entire life ahead of him. I found out about 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago maybe. I've been listening to a lot of his music, today especially, but recently. Things that he said in 295, things that he said in Power. He was fearful for his life. But he wasn't fearful for his life from a street perspective, from a gangster's perspective. He was fearful for his life from an opposing political party or his own government. I find it weird how he made the song 295 and today, his day of death, is the 29th of the 5th. I find it weird how one of his last tracks was called The Last Ride, and unfortunately he was shot down in his car, which would have been his last ride. I've been watching, spent maybe the last 2 hours watching India Today. They've had, their whole broadcasting has stopped and all they are talking about is Sidhu Moosewala. My thoughts and prayers go straight to his mother. I said this on Instagram, but no mother should ever have to outlive their child. I think it's awful. I wasn't gonna do this. I wasn't gonna do this reaction. However, I told everybody on Instagram that I was genuinely going to do this today because RD Creations had put this up a few days ago and it was in the diary to be done today. I didn't feel it appropriate to do it today, but many of Sidhu's fans messaged me on Instagram and said that it might be a good idea to do the reaction as more of like a final farewell. Man, I'm struggling, man. So of course this reaction isn't going to be as lively as the rest of them. And I feel like I've already spoken for too long. Rest in peace, Sidhu Moosewala. Legends never die, and his talent, his music will far outlive any of the bad words that anybody had to say about him. Okay.
I was gonna rip it harder, I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Oh, broke as a fucking haar diye. Lifetime di pension mangda nahi. Mari janani wangu nahi sare. Maitho attention mangda nahi. Bina galon vich auna chaunde. Sade rival de nahi haar diye. Janna na compare kare sade. ਨੀ ਮੂਰੇ ਟਾਈਵਲ ਦੇ ਨੀ ਹਾਰਦੀ ਏ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਨਾ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਨੀ ਹਾਰਦੀ ਏ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਨਾ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਨੀ ਹਾਰਦੀ ਏ
There's levels to this shit. Girl, I'm on my head. There's levels to this shit.
Yo, it's like who else you really know that be setting the bar? They just dropped a couple songs, but they think they're a star. We don't run from competition, we don't run from the law. If you tryna level up, I'm the one that you call. I just do this for the love, I don't do this for the bag. They said meet me at the top, I looked around like where y'all at. Pardon if I laugh, fuck you if you mad. I could lose everything and still double what you have.
It's like they watching all my moves and they copying my style. They say they really ain't, but I know they in denial. I'm sitting at the top and I know it's been a while. I know it's been a while.
ਆਓ ਪਿੱਠੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਤੇ ਕਹਿਣੋਂ ਸੰਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਿੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਵਰਸ ਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਓ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਾੜਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਬੀਫ ਚਲਾ ਲੇ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੱਫੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਗੀਤ ਚਲਾ ਲੇ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਲੀਲੀਆਂ ਫੀਲੀਆਂ ਜੰਟੂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੈਰ
The way he's rapping on this, I've not heard him rap like this before. He's rapping double time, but he's still rapping with that same velocity and the same buoyancy that his voice has always had. 28 years old. And in terms of new music, I don't know what his producers or his label, I don't know what they have sort of, you know, stored away, or I don't know what they had yet to come out. But this man was so talented. So talented.
ਮੈਂ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਿੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਵਰਸ ਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਓ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਾੜਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਬੀਫ ਚਲਾ ਲੇ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੱਫੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਗੀਤ ਚਲਾ ਲੇ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਲੀਲੀਆਂ ਫੀਲੀਆਂ ਜੰਟੂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੈਰ ਪੈਰ ਤੇ ਵਿਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਨਿਤ ਨਵਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਖਸਮ ਨੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਟਿਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਰੀ ਸ਼ਿਟ ਟੋਕਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਓ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਦਾ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਓ ਪੇੜ ਕਲੇਪਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਚੋਬਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਝੌੜ ਕੁੜੇ ਸੋਲੋ ਡੋਲੋ ਮੂਵ ਕਰੇ ਤੇ ਬਣਦੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਕੌਣ ਕੁੜੇ ਨੋ ਨੇਮ ਤੇ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਅੱਠਰੇ ਈਪੀ ਛੱਡੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਤੜਕੇ ਸੀ ਬਲਬੋਰਡ ਕੁੜੇ
He's not even joking either when he says that. Obviously, he brought out the No Name EP, which I did the reaction to, I think, like last month. It was as soon as it came out. When he brought that out, there was no press run for it. There was no rollout. He just released it. And yet, the very next day, it was on billboards. It was up to like 1 million views, 2 million views, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million after like 1 day, 2 days. Insane the amount of attention that this man garnered. And it was one of the very few times where it's deserved. And he really did deserve that attention that he got from not just in India, not just in Punjab, not just in Musa, but everywhere.
ਸੀ ਬਲਬੋਰਡ ਕੁੜੇ ਹੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਹੱਥ ਲਪਟਾਇਓ ਨਾ ਬਾਦ ਉੜ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਇਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰ ਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ
Now, as I've said, I've spent the better part of the last like 2 or 3 hours watching India today. They mentioned that the chief of police said that it was a gang shooting and mentioned Lawrence Bishnoi as the rival gang who had allegedly shot Sidhu Moosewala. The leader of that gang is in Canada. I don't know the guy's name, but there was also talk about Sidhu Moosewala's manager was involved in the investigation for the murder of a Lawrence Bishnoi gang member. So, I'm obviously connecting the dots isn't the first thing that I think about whenever somebody dies, but with this one, I feel like there has to be a reason. It can't just be, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason as to why now. You know, the police gave him an escort vehicle that he allegedly decided not to get in the bulletproof police vehicle, but he chose to get in a regular SUV instead. And I understand that his security team was taken away from him because there was like a state security threat. So a lot of the independent contractors were taken to, you know, for state security. And I understand that, but Sidhu was supposed to have 4 armed security guards around him, and allegedly there were only 2 in the vehicle when Sidhu was shot. However, when he was taken to the hospital, those 2 officers nowhere to be found. So I said this to Larry at Parked Up Anywhere. If you don't know about that guy's channel, please go and check him out. He's also done some Sidhu Moosewala reactions too. I was the guy who introduced him to Sidhu Moosewala because the guy is a legend. But I was saying to him how Sidhu Moosewala was already like the Tupac of India, and the whole conspiracy surrounding his death, and this just solidifies it. And I hope that he becomes a beacon of hope for those in the future. I really do. In the same way that Tupac is hailed as, you know, a beacon of light, you know, and an example for the generations to come. I don't particularly know what to say about the track. I don't know what to say at this point. All I can say is that I will continue to listen to his music. I'll continue to listen to his message. I know that the media wants to paint him as a gangster or a bad person or somebody that invited that badness into their life, but the feelings that I got the feelings that I got from listening to Sidhu Moosewala's music, it made me feel powerful. The first song that I truly fell in love with from Sidhu Moosewala was Power. That was the first song I ever heard from Sidhu Moosewala. Power. It was the first song I fell in love with. I can still sing along. I still listen to it on a regular basis. And that for me was, like I said, it made me feel powerful. The track Goat, again, it made me feel powerful. Took me back to 90s hip hop from California. I never got any bad feelings from Sidhu Moosewala's music, even from Moose Driller, which was intended to be a drill record. So, and in drill, all they talk about is badness. So, you know, what was he supposed to do? Sidhu Moosewala was an artist who could take on the many different facets of music and apply them to any genre he felt like. The music that he made should not be a reflection of him as a man. By no means. And if you are going to do that, then find the message, find the positivity within his lyrics, find inspiration, and find that message of power that I'm sure Sidhu wanted to envelop within every single one of his tracks, because that is exactly how it made me personally feel. And I know there's many see, I'm mixing my words now. There's many of you out there who feel the same. His music was never meant to be negative. Nobody was ever meant to take it like that. And lyrics and things that people say should always be taken with a pinch of salt. You cannot allow his death to become an excuse for people to condemn this sort of music. Because on that No Name EP, there was a song on there, I forget which song it was, but it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh my God, why can I not remember the name of that song? It was just so beautiful. And for anybody to tell me that man was evil, or that man was bad, anybody that bad would not be able to make us feel the way that Sidhu made us feel. Never let anybody take that away from him. Thoughts and prayers to his mother, of course, and I hope that we do hear new music posthumously, but I hope that it's brought out in a respectful manner, and I hope that the entirety of India, regardless of how you felt about him or his music, I hope that you all get behind it. TeddyGreyOnStuff, and I'll see you soon.